I never thought I would be in this sort of situation. However, things have gone way too far, and it's about time I actually speak up and address what's been going on. Essentially, what's been happening is that a particular group of people have been trying their absolute hardest to spread disgusting and utterly vomit-inducing misinformation and lies about me. These people have called me things such as dogfucker and zoophile, while also going around countless communities and spreading the most nasty lies about me and trying to convince more and more people that I'm something I'm 100% not. This all comes from a time I was very open about being a furry, around June to September of last year, and would always enjoy partaking in conversations about it. But one thing now I do regret is being so open to the point where I'd eventually not use the most ideal vocabulary when talking about furry stuff. This is when a couple of out of context screenshots come into play. The main fuel for this fire was my usage of the word canine when I was talking in cringe-worthy detail about different reasons I liked furries. When I was using the word canine, I was referring to a certain species or group of furry characters. You could think about it like certain tags you would see on art posts, often categorizing furry characters and artwork by species and other factors. They claim I was talking about dogs by pulling up a Google definition of the word canine, as if people had zero brain cells and didn't even know what it was. The only reason for them including this was because it featured the word dog in the definition, just to try and further convince people that I was not talking about furries. Another thing I would like to point out is common sense. The place I was talking about furries was on a furry themed server, and I was talking to a bunch of other friends who are also furries. Do you really think if me or anyone who meant dogs would be so open about it and tell everyone about it? I don't think so. It's just more proof that sense isn't common. There are probably a whole load of reasons as to why they're doing this, and one of them possibly being that a certain individual hates me to the point where it looks like borderline obsession, and then trying their absolute hardest to make things difficult for me wherever I may be, and even they themselves have said they hate me with a passion. I would find the messages, but it appears they got banned for spamming. However, what I do have is a handful of other examples. Now, after seeing that, you are probably not surprised that this is the person who formulated these false accusations about me, and ultimately have caused a lot of people to express hate and harass me. Why does this person hate me? One of the only reasons I can think of is furry bad. And then comes the question of why the rest of the group believe the lies. And then since they're probably smart enough to know that it's not true, it's down to the fact a lot of them despise me as well. The reason? Well, apparently because I'm gay, yet I somehow hate LGBT. I don't understand where they got that from. It literally makes no sense. And the fact that I'm a furry. And they think furries are zoophiles. I think that's the main stuff. Now, of course, I don't really care if people hate me. They have the right to think what they want. That's a known fact. But when that hate comes to the point of making up false accusations and spreading false info to many different people in an attempt to completely ruin someone's reputation, make them lose all the people they were friends with and just overall respect from others, and wishing violent things such as death and suicide and self-harm on someone, that's when it becomes not okay, and I think 99% of people would know that is plain despicable behaviour. So to wrap things up here, I'm going to give a simple summary of events. First, an individual begins to hate me with a passion because I was a furry around June to September. Around June to September of last year, I talk about some fantasy furry garbage, and then in March of this year, that person decides to come back and mislead a bunch of people into thinking that I'm a zoophile. A whole load of people turn against me, and then I get bombarded with the harassment you saw earlier. In conclusion, I'm not a zoophile, I'm not a fucking dog banger, and the type of stuff people have planned and said about me is just downright evil in some cases. Hopefully today I've managed to finally get the truth across to a bunch of you and shed a bunch of light onto some deplorable practices from a considerable amount of people. I just hope to end this drama here and stop these people from causing any more damage than they already have, and to restore my image where it's been unfairly tainted. On a final note, I'm sorry I've had to address this stuff. My other videos will be in a lot more positive subjects. Good night.